Welcome to the show, my How to Buy a Homies. Another interview coming your way. First time buyer, long time renter. That's what we've got today. This is Regina, and this story is so packed with tips, tricks, hints, so many things that first time home buyers can take, use the information, and you're hearing it directly from somebody who was a renter for a long time and finally made the decision. And it's so interesting to hear the wheels turning, all the ideas sparking, and what she found out when she was figuring out what it takes to go from being that longtime renter into a homeowner. Get ready, buckle up. This one's tons of fun. Let's do it.
How to Buy a Home educates, protects, and connects first-time homebuyers to qualified vetted realtors in their area. Whether you're looking for DIY information or step-by-step guidance, How to Buy a Home is the #1 resource for first-time home buyers.
Well, homies, I'm very excited because we've got another fantastic interview. I'm been trying to get with Regina for a little while now. We had tech issues, but we're here now. And Regina is someone who is, let's just say, older than the 38 years old that the average first-time home buyer is, and wasn't sure if buying a home made sense, when you're not 22 years old and directly out of college.
Right.
And she came in, asked me for some help, connected her with a unicorn. She's in Michigan. And I think we talked originally in January of 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
And do I have this right? You closed on March 14th?
Yes.
So just a couple months.
Just a couple months. Blew me away. Wow.
So I guess the answer to the question was yes when you said, David, do you think I can do this?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Well, what an exciting story. And I've never really officially asked you, did you do this on your own? This is just you?
Yes, just me. Yeah.
Oh, God, another single lady. Let's go, Beyonce. All the single ladies.
Right?
All the single ladies. I get so many people that reach out to me and say, I don't know what I should do. And maybe it's because I'm personally biased because my wife, when we started dating, already owned her home.
Okay.
I had my place and she had her place.
Yes.
But I forget there's still a lot of people out there that don't acknowledge or understand how possible it is.
Right.
How long have you been thinking about this process?
A long time. I think for me, the biggest barrier was I didn't think I would stay in my current job. And I didn't think I would. So I used to live in South Louisiana. I showed up there about 1998. And I was all set to buy a home. I did like the home buying process through LSU Extension, all that stuff. I'd get my friend in the car and I'm like, go and look at houses. She's like, I want to go eat, So
Louisiana, I'm with her.
Yeah, right. Enough said. So it just didn't work out. The job didn't work out. And so I left. And so I think I got a little gun shy after that. I got my first job in Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the other side of the state, and didn't think I'd be there more than 5 years. And so 17 years later, I got my next job and wasn't sure I would stay here, but it's been so good, and especially the last couple of years. And then my finances have shifted so much in the positive direction. I was talking to a friend maybe November, and she said, you got to buy a house now. And I'm like, she goes, you have to protect your investment. You have to protect your income. And I totally got it. I understood the concept. But then it was like, okay, so similar to one of the things you always say is make the decision that you are going to buy a home in the next 12 months. This was my last lease. And that's what I decided. And then I would ask friends, hey, do you have a realtor? And it was, I bought my house so long ago, I think they're retired, or I have no idea where they are anymore. So I'm starting from scratch. And I went online and ended up in a Reddit thread. and someone mentioned your podcast. I'm like, okay, it's a podcast. He's never going to know I'm listening, right? I won't have these follow-ups like, hey, so nice to see you fill out the form. And when can we meet? It's like, I don't know. I want you. Wait a minute. So I started listening to the podcast, and it was all the information I could need, right? And so you go through the benchmarks you have to have. I'd gotten rid of my debt. My finances were in order. My credit score was great. So now it was go find yourself a home. It's like, okay, gonna need a little help with that. This Dave guy keeps going, hey, if you want a unicorn. And I'm like, yes, I do. So I got me a unicorn.
Oh, okay. That's it. I'm pulling that. That's going to be a promo for the podcast.
Yeah, there you
You
go.
get yourself a unicorn. Do you want a unicorn? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Well, there are a lot of people that go through the same situation
Yeah.
that you went through, in so much as they make a move and it's potentially temporary.
Right.
And, I'm always happy when people reach out regardless.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm learning now, 6 years with the podcast, is I want to let people know, if you even think you're going to be somewhere for a couple years, there is a strategy that you could buy something and rent it out.
Yes.
If you have to leave.
Right.
The numbers have to work to make sure that you're not double paying.
Right.
The rent has to cover your full payment.
Correct.
But it can happen.
It can happen.
I got so excited getting in your story. I can't believe I did this. So what's your biggest tip for everybody? And then we'll go through all the nuts and bolts of what you did.
Yeah. I think make up your mind and start looking. One of the things you said was, if you're thinking about buying a home in the next 12 months, start looking now. And I was like, okay, and I'd reached out and then met my person, my unicorn, and got my team. And then we start looking, and it's like, first of all, at this stage, is so different than when I first originally in sort of my life been thinking about buying a house, right? The whole market, the way it works, has shifted so much that I had sticker shock, right? And so it took a little while to get over that. And then starting early, right? So I was renting my lease. This is actually the last month of my lease. And so it's like, this could take a whole while and, be a good bit. It was like 2 months. I closed in 3 months, right, from when I started. And I was stunned, but I realized I would have lost this place. And, so I needed to have started early to get what I wanted.
So this one ticks all the boxes.
All the boxes. All the boxes.
Great. So what were your must-haves?
Yeah.
And then, was there anything that you were flexible and compromised and decided, this has so many other things, I will let this go?
Yeah. Okay. Must-haves. I didn't want stairs. Kind of hit that age.
I feel you there, girl.
Right?
I came downstairs this morning and my knees sounded like a popcorn machine.
And then I definitely wanted a garage, preferably 2-car, because it's Michigan. We get snow.
Yep.
And I wanted a diverse community, which I really got. And that has just changed me so much. And so I'm incredibly grateful for that. I wanted 3 bedrooms. That was non-negotiable, or 2 bedrooms and a loft, because I needed a dedicated office space.
Yeah.
And then 2 full bathrooms, which this place has. And I really wanted a gas stove. That was the one thing I might have negotiated on, but I love to cook. My last place had electric. I didn't really cook, and it was often ending in disaster because I don't know how to manage that, right? Now I've got gas. It's like, I know what I'm doing. This is great.
Yeah.
So, I followed your advice of make out that list. What's your, must-haves, your non-negotiables, I wanted to be near the freeway, which I am close enough, but not too close. And a
Wait, you said
nice,
freeway. Where are
yeah,
you from?
I know.
Louisiana?
No, I'm from Los Angeles.
I was gonna say, oh, I
Yeah.
was like, that's an us thing, man.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it. Okay, cool.
Yes, for sure. And a nice ride into work. So one of the things that had come up in one of your episodes with a guest was she got in the car and she did the drive to see if
Yes.
that place was going to work, right? And so I got in the car and the freeway version was easy, but I knew the freeway wasn't going to always be my answer, in part because we're getting a new building. And so where I actually physically will work will change, right? So it's like, I
Okay.
better make sure that works too. And so found the back road, which is more developed than a back road. That's a really nice, easy drive. It's like bucolic, man. It's like, it's so calming, right? So I come into work less stressed than I did when I lived 10 minutes away because the traffic would be so intense, right? So it has just been such a win. And when I came with my realtor, we were often in the same space at the same time, right? Like in the bedroom or in the bathroom, both together. And never did we feel on top of each other. So that let me know
Oh,
like this could work, right? I have my two sisters, a niece and a brother-in-law. That'd be an extra four people. It's like, are we going to be on top of each other? It's like, no, you get a bedroom. You get a bedroom.
oh my gosh! I just freaked out my dog laughing so hard at your Oprah joke. You know, it's there. There's a technique that they will teach you when
Yeah.
you're first being a realtor, when you're showing condos and new clients,
Mm.
that you stand in the doorway and let them go in the bedroom, so
Yeah.
that
Well,
you don't
she did that.
so you don't crowd up the room.
Right.
But
Right.
I know you and I know Angela, your
Yes.
unicorn,
Yes. Yes.
and understanding that guests we're because you're not buying a 3-bedroom place. You know, if one's an office and what are you going to do with the other bedroom?
Right.
So,
Right. Right.
it was
Right.
always in the plan. But,
Yes. Yes.
so, and I always kind of laughed at that technique that they would do.
Right.
I'd let them start that way, but then I
Yes.
would always come in with them
Yes.
afterwards,
Yes. Yes.
and
Exactly.
what a boy, I think I'm hitting 80, 85 interviews right now. I don't think
Wow.
I've ever had that commute talk. And
Yeah.
I lived it. I
Right.
used to, I was in LA
Yep.
in the Valley.
Yeah.
And when you're going from the Valley to LA, there's like 2 or 3 different canyons you can take.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
And sometimes I would take the one that just made me feel good.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
like I was
Right.
driving through old Hollywood. And as a
Yes.
kid in South Orange County,
Right.
you can always take freeways,
Yes.
but I used to take Pacific Coast Highway all the time.
Yes.
Extra 20
Yes.
minutes on my drive, but I showed up to my appointment in a much happier mood.
Right.
And the fact that you did that,
Yeah.
how incredible.
Yeah.
Well, I also found it really interesting that you talked about decide.
Yes.
I putting together another podcast right now with frequently asked questions from people on
Yeah.
the internet, and boy, all the top 10 lists from every advice site online doesn't
Yes.
say make the decision.
Yeah. But you have to. I
Yeah.
won't lie. There were a few days it was like, well, maybe I could just stay here another year. It's so convenient because it was close and this, that, and the other. And then I would just stand there. And let me say, I did live in a very nice condo in a very nice community,
Yes.
but it wasn't mine.
And that's the thing. When you
That's
came
the
to
thing.
me, you're like,
Yeah.
hey, Dave, I'm not 25.
Right?
Does this make sense to me?
Yeah.
You were obviously in a financial place.
Yeah.
I do want to go back. Oh, I'm writing in my note right now. I do want to go back and talk about the diverse community because that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's go over the finances.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because you were ready pretty quickly, but
Yes.
in your original form that you sent me, you said that you had like $7,000 saved. Where'd the
Right.
rest of the money come from for the down payment?
Right. Well, even the 7,000 came from a 401k that I had and from an old job. And so I've
Oh,
had like
an
three
old
major
job.
jobs. Right. So I had
Huge.
my Louisiana job, right? So I had that small one. And then the job I had before this one had a really nice 401, rolled over into a 401k. And so I just took a chunk out of there. And let me just say, I worked with a well-known finance company, if you will, right? Our retirement is through one of those companies, right?
Sure. Merrill
And
Lynch, Edward Jones, one of the big ones.
one of the big ones, right? And they're very nice people, but they don't really tell you things. And I was really struggling, right, about what I do. And a friend of mine who used to be in finance, she helped me, which was amazing. And so
Great.
choose your friends well. But B, she said, I think because you are so smart and the way you talk is so definitive that people think you know more than you know. Because I'm like, okay, this account, I want to get some money out of it. And that's all I know, right? Like you
Yeah.
take it from there, right? It'd be like me going, I want to buy a house. I live here. You take it from there. And you think, oh, she knows this. No, it's kind of like, continental divide. We've gone off the cliff and we got to find out how far down we go. Yeah. Yeah.
I just did one of my unicorns in Colorado was in a business networking group, and he met these two dudes who wrote a book. One was a financial planner, the other one was a tax consultant, a CPA.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
brothers, and they have the same mission that I do.
Yes.
But when they were an actual financial advisor,
Yeah.
because of liability,
Yes. Yes.
there are things that they can't
Right.
say. They
Right.
can't say pulling your money out of your 401k and putting it into a real estate investment is diversifying your portfolio and you'll actually get better returns. Because
Thank you.
once they talk about better returns,
Right. Oh boy.
promissory situation,
Mhm.
and they're on the hook.
Right.
Not to
Right.
mention
Right.
in some of the like with my lenders all the time,
Yeah.
I will send them something and they throw around compliance to me.
Yes. Right.
I think it's such a gigantic, huge part of this that when
Yeah.
there are people like yourself who are
Right.
smart, they're 24 years old and they go to
Right.
talk to a financial advisor. The
Right.
financial advisor thinks they understand.
Yes.
It's what's not said when you're asking about your 401k.
Yes.
That's the meat and potatoes.
That's the meat and potatoes. So my friend would say, Regina, this is your money. She said, look, you could take it all out and pay cash for this house. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a gangster move, right?
It is.
I wasn't quite that brave, but she talked me through. And so we went online and she talked me through over the phone. She's like, okay, how much do you want? And so I took a chunk out and put that into cash. And then she said, tomorrow you're going to call them and you're going to say, I want X amount and out of my account and blah, blah, blah. And that's what I did. And the lovely gentleman was like, yes. Oh, look, I see you put, 50K into cash. I'm like, yes, I did. That was as far as I knew how to go. And he giggled and then helped me, figure out the rest. So apparently I could have done it all on my own, but there's nothing on the internet. And I get the liability part. I so get it. But I needed help. And if I didn't have my friend, I don't know how I would have gotten there,
I'm going to have to go back and redo another podcast on it because,
Yes.
and I'll call a lawyer friend and figure out what disclaimer I need to put on it.
Right, right.
You know how it goes down here in Southern California.
Yeah.
My Disneyland friends trying to buy a house, they're all super happy with their job, but
Yes.
they're making teacher and
Yes.
rookie cop salaries.
Yes, yes, yes.
The
Right.
only thing they have going for them is they got the job when they were 20 years old, and
Yes.
God bless Disney, they got a 401k.
Yep, yep.
Almost
Yep.
every single one of my first-time home buyers, in order to afford the expensive stuff here,
Yeah.
we had the diversification of portfolio discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
here you are at an age where you have multiple 401ks.
Yeah.
I can't believe this is another thing I've never touched on when I talk about 401ks is
Yeah.
the dead ones.
Yes.
They're wonderful things, but they sit there until you hit a certain age.
Right.
And in the meantime,
here
you are with
right.
these, all your stuff in basically one investment, the stock market.
Yes. Yes.
So if you have multiple, use some of those old ones. Find out
Yeah.
find out what the tax would be or the penalty would be,
Right.
and add that into your equation.
Exactly.
What was your differentiation between, because you did live in a nice place?
Yes.
What was the difference between your old rent payment and your new PITI? Wait, we know what PITI is, right? I don't want to be one of your financial advisors.
Right.
You
No,
know
we're
what
good.
that is now, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I was paying $19.50, and including my homeowner's insurance, I'm paying $2,100 and some change.
Now,
And keep in mind, now if we start adding all the sort of parts up, I pay my homeowner's insurance once a month as part of the payment. Great. I was paying renter's insurance.
Yes.
So those are about equal, right? So, you start thinking about things. I think my actual mortgage, it's definitely less than my rent was.
Yes,
It's
if we're just
definitely
doing
less
your
than the rent
principal
was.
and insurance, I'm
Right.
sure it is.
Yep.
Now, did you put more than that 50 down? Did you go over and above using other savings?
No, I've used the 50 and had them take out taxes.
Oh, great.
Right. So that I wouldn't have that big surprise in a few months. So I put down 3.5%. And
wait a minute, 3.5%?
Yeah.
And your payment is just a couple $100 over your rent?
And something you said, Dave. So if there's anything I can communicate to people, you got to do the work that is presented in the podcast. The Buying a House 101 podcast were so informative. It made me feel so much more confident. And at least I could intelligently ask questions, right? You talked about if you have to pay mortgage insurance, PMI.
Yes.
Okay. That varies dependent upon your credit score.
Yeah.
My credit score is great. Well, it's probably taken a little hit because I've been to Home Depot and Lowe's a lot the last month. But,
actually, if you haven't checked it recently, I definitely want to continue that thought. A lot of new homeowners freak out. The first 3 or 4 months of home ownership, your score goes down.
Yeah.
But in 6 months, it'll be even higher than it was.
Right. I was in the upper tier. We'll just put it like that. And
it's an 800 girl. I can feel it.
I worked hard for that one, boy. And so my PMI is so low. I was like, who the heck cares? We're good, right? At 3.5%. And
do you know the number? Do you?
It's maybe 100 a month or less. It may even be less. And so
it's ridiculous. $1,200 a year for the privilege of not having to save, 16.5%.
Right.
Of your down payment.
Right. So when you're thinking about all the costs that you're going to be paying, you have to understand them better than like I did at the start of my journey, right? Because I would have been looking for just the principal and interest payment, right? Okay. But then, homeowner's insurance. But then I talked to my insurance company because I have my car and auto. So you get these lovely discounts, right?
Bundle.
Right. And they were like, okay, so it'd be about this much, which would be that much a month. I'm like, well, sign that up. That's great. I like that number. So, go through your due diligence in learning what these costs will actually be if that is something you're very concerned about, because it's easy to hear about mortgage insurance and just think, oh my gosh, that's going to be hundreds of dollars a month more. Not necessarily.
Considering the fact that you put 3.5% down and you have PMI, at $100, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's $1,200 a year for the privilege
to
be able to be in.
Right.
And that compared to your rent. And I
Yes.
understand. And it's also, this is the thing I like to bring up to people who live in some of the more urban areas, whether it's
Sure.
Chicago or San
Right.
Francisco or big cities in the South, Nashville
Yeah.
and Memphis. You're probably paying a higher rent than
Mhm.
the average, outside suburban
Yes.
middle America place.
Yes.
So that difference,
Right.
even at today's interest rates,
Right.
is not going to be that much because you were paying a
Not gonna
nicer
be-
rent because you're a lady with good credit and you're
Right.
like, I'm going to live in a nice place.
Right. If I had what I have here, where I was living, I'd probably be close to 3,000 a month.
Yep.
Right. I have a deck. I have a little yard going down. Right. And it's great. Actually, so where my place is, it's a complex and there's a retaining pond out my back window. So I see geese and ducks and turkeys and rabbits. Yesterday, I saw the frog for the first time. I mean, you can't get this in the city, and especially not for 2,100 and some change every month.
Uh-huh. And because you've driven it,
Yes, yes,
you were
yes.
in the fortunate place where it's not that far
It's not really.
to get to either work building, right?
Right, exactly. And, maybe some of that's because I am a Californian. I mean, the traffic moves. If I'm doing a 35-minute drive and it's moving, we're good, man. If we're sitting for 35 minutes, which you and I are very accustomed to having done, that's when you start to go stir crazy.
We moved from Los Angeles down to Orange County,
Yeah.
and we still have events in Los Angeles. And
Yeah.
we had two on a Friday and a Saturday night. The guy who sits on a microphone and talks to people about commute time and podcasts and whatever.
Right.
We were driving, I think it was like 60 miles from where we were on a Friday night and on a Saturday night. 2 hours and 15 minutes one way each time. That is why when you are buying a home, drive it during traffic time. Drive it during weekend nights.
Yes. And let me say this. If you're like, I just don't have the time, wake up at the time that you would leave, pull up your phone, go to a map app and let it tell you how long it will take, and watch for how many red and yellow spots there are on the roads that they're indicating, and do that several days. Because one day there could just be one bad accident, right? The next day it's maybe moving faster, but you've got to understand it. And then if you have to go do it on a weekend, do it, but get the lay of the land because you got to know, right? You've got to know.
And there are so many technological pieces that we can use right now. So many tools at our disposal.
Yes. Yep.
And because, my family, I crack up. I remember back in the day, you remember the old Thomas Brothers Guide map?
Oh, yeah.
In California with the little squares. Yeah. I have to go to AG or whatever.
Yes.
And now it's like, if I'm not following the blue line on that Google Maps or the Apple Play, like nobody knows where they're going. But as you said, you can use that tool in your bed.
Yes. Right.
Wake up at 6. What would happen if I'm driving to work?
Right.
And just sit there and watch it.
Yep.
The financial end of this is just gold for my listeners. And I'm so glad that we got here because where you were was the first biggest thing was deciding.
Yes.
And then from what I'm hearing in our conversation, the financial pieces you found, getting the correct advice on diversifying your portfolio, which once again, listeners, I will remind you, you will not get this from your financial advisor. I can tell you right now, people have come to me and said, I want to buy a home. And they say, well, we're going to talk to my financial advisor or my dad, who's a CPA.
Right.
And 90% of the time it kills the deal.
Yeah.
And then they end up renting for a couple of years and they call me back and go, we wasted so much money on rent. And I'm like, you could have bought. So the decision was one thing, but I'm hearing that your decision got further and further along when the financial side kind of got revealed to you. Not just the rent payment, mortgage payment, but the whole piece. Yeah.
The whole piece, right? Because I got the rent payment, mortgage payment thing. It's like, yeah, but there's going to be some other stuff up in that bill. And so you have to go and understand that as well. And I want to just take a detour back about the finance thing and using your 401k. Not everyone's 401k works the same way. So when I met with the lender, he said, you don't qualify for any of the sort of bonus programs like in my state of Michigan. They
Too much
will,
money.
yeah, I mean, too much. They have a grant if you're a first time home buyer. He's like, yeah, none of that works for you. So
Yep.
you take a loan from your 401k and then you pay yourself back. And that's how we're going to go. I'm like, okay, great. And I call up and get told yours doesn't work that way. And that's when I got lost, right?
Yeah.
And so just keep at it because, as my friend said, it's your money. And
Yes.
maybe you too are in the situation where you could take it all out and pay for the house, which
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't necessarily recommend, but it just felt so good.
Yeah. The gangster move. You better have some financial acumen behind it to back it up.
Right, right, right.
So then what was the solution? Did you use one of those other 401ks?
Yeah, I used the one from my most recent past job because it was
Great.
such a big chunk that I
Yeah.
could just take it, not have to repay it, and take enough
Yes.
out to pay for the taxes so I don't have to worry about that either. Yeah.
So for those of you who are not necessarily, I do this every day.
Mhm.
Regina just did this, and so
Right.
it's all fresh on her.
Yeah.
Every 401k is managed differently by
Yes.
what we call a different money manager.
Hmm.
And therefore, Google your uncle,
Yeah.
some realtor who doesn't know what they're doing. They cannot tell you definitively,
Right.
oh, you have a 401k, you
Right.
can do this.
Yes. 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 Yes.
And there are many that will give you a little bit of a discount, a break, a deal if you're using it for your primary home.
Yes.
The event won't be taxable and there's no penalty.
Right.
But the other big thing that Regina's bringing up here is those old 401ks.
Yes.
They are going to be yours at a certain time. And it's
Mhm.
basically just like money sitting in a savings account that you can't touch, where it's
Right.
just the only thing that's happening over the years is it's gaining interest.
Right. Right.
But it's a great way to think about it, because if you had money sitting in a savings account and
Yes.
your uncle gave it to you and he didn't give you the account number, so you couldn't take it
Right.
out.
Right.
But then, you had a huge medical emergency and you had to call your uncle and say, it'd be great if I could have 50 grand.
Right.
The only difference is you have to be smart like Regina, again, going deeper and deeper into this
Yeah.
and understanding there will be a taxable event.
Right.
So you took out enough to cover both. That
Exactly.
just unbelievable. This is huge and it has inspired me to get deeper into this.
Thank you.
Liabilities be damned. I'm going
Yes.
to
And
talk
let me
about it.
say, I let the finance company handle the taxes. They were like, how much did you want us to pay the taxes for? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
How much did you want? We usually do 10%. I'm like, that works for me. So 10% state, 10%
Smart.
federal. And then there was a chunk of change in my checking account.
Yes. Yeah. And we still don't know until next year when
Yeah.
you do your taxes,
Right.
how that's going to work out.
Oh man, am I looking forward to my taxes for the first time in a long time.
Oh.
Actually, I've gotten a little bit on a regular basis in refund, but man,
Oh yeah.
this could be awesome.
Your points, your loan fees, all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're going to, and now taxes is another thing that I'm not allowed legally to talk about. So I will
Right.
say everybody check
Yeah.
with a CPA.
Yes.
What I can tell you is when my people in the past have checked with a CPA and they
Yes.
truly understand mortgage,
Yeah.
interest, deduction.
Yeah.
Now, over the last few years, people have said that the standard tax deduction, if they don't need to itemize,
Right. Right.
sometimes the mortgage interest deduction, and for a home that you've got in that like $300,000 range, it may not benefit you, but there's a big bill in Congress right now and things could change and we don't know what it's going to be. Always at least ask your CPA as a homeowner,
Right.
does my
Right.
mortgage interest tax deduction benefit me?
Right. So as you put your life together, think about some things, right? I do a lot of nonprofit donations, right?
Lovely.
Um, and so that in itself puts me over the standardized deduction.
Oh, so now that mortgage interest deduction is going to be oh my gosh. Well, right now I will just to all the charities that Regina likes. You are going to be so excited next year because she's going to have more money. And she's going to feel real stable because she owns a house.
Thank
So she's
you.
going to be like, what do I do with all this extra money? How do I
Right.
be a good person here?
Yeah, something benefits some other folk.
Uh-huh. Okay. Now I want to just, wrap things up with this
Sure.
whole thing about the diversification, because for
Yeah.
me, as your story as someone from Los Angeles, who's then
Right.
in the South, who then moved to Michigan,
Yeah.
I think in general, most people think of Los Angeles and Louisiana as a much more, shall we say, rainbow colored group
Sure.
of people.
Sure.
And, my family's from Missouri,
Yeah.
farmers.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
But me and my family, we're Southern California people
Yeah.
and enjoy. And it's a very difficult thing because as a real estate agent, I am not
Mhm.
allowed to talk about anything.
Yes.
And it's for the protection
Right.
of minorities.
Right. I understand that. Yep.
Too many people used to redline and
Mm-hmm.
discriminate. So I
Mm-hmm.
can't go into a neighborhood and say, I can't even say this is a diverse neighborhood.
Right.
I can't say you'll like this neighborhood. It's mostly young families.
Yes.
Technically,
Right.
I'm not even allowed to say Jack and Jill bathroom anymore.
Right.
And I am glad they've changed master to primary.
Yeah, to primary. Yeah.
That's a good
Really
one.
appreciating
Can't
that
believe
one.
it took
Yeah.
them so long to figure that
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So for you, working
Yes.
with Angela, your
Yes.
unicorn,
Yes, she was.
did you ask her about it, or
I put it out.
Yeah.
So when we met, you need to also think about what are your must-haves for you socially, like commute time, diverse community, maybe older people, maybe you want to be in a 65 and over community. Think about those things. And also know your tolerance. So one of the things I said to her was, I don't want to get into a bidding war, right? The whole concept of a bidding war over property was new for me, and I just don't have the constitution for it. So if I asked for info on a place, she would send it. And then she'd say, by the way, there are 4 offers on this. It's like, yep, never mind. We're done with that. But also when we met, I really need 3 full bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, blah, blah, blah. And I need to live in a diverse community. Where I work is diverse, but not integrated, right? So it's not hostile to people of color, but you're just there,
Yep.
right? And I got tired of being there. It's like, I'm Regina, doggone it. So I wanted to be someplace where I could be anywhere and it would be okay. And it has been. So there's more diversity here in part because there's more people in this area. I'm closer to Detroit, which also increases that. And I mean, so you'll get this. It's just so nice to be in a place where white people will say hello. Right? Because that's what I grew up with, right?
Yep.
And to have been in places, people, again, they were not hostile. I was just sort of part of the background. That gets old, and so people in the Home Depot all say hello, people in the market, people at the restaurant, everybody just says hello. And it's just so nice because I don't have to walk around with my guard up all the time.
And it's such, for anyone who hasn't had a chance to travel to Louisiana, I mean, Louisiana for me is just that place where everybody, I don't care what color you are, folks are just nice.
People are nice. People are nice. People are nice.
It is a very difficult piece for us as the real estate agents to help people discover this on their own.
Right.
We
So
can
I went
point.
online a lot. Yeah, right.
Oh
And you can
yeah,
look up demographic maps and it will show you. I found one that would not only show you by county and then by city, it would show you by neighborhood. And so I could look up income levels, education levels, diversity levels, et cetera. And so there were a couple where I was like, oh, maybe I'd like to live there. It was like, not anymore. And so do your homework. Do
I
your
am
homework.
I am not allowed to tell you if this is a safe neighborhood,
Right.
or you know, and I appreciate the fact that all this derived from the fact that people were discriminating in the wrong way.
Yes. Yes.
What's interesting now is in the past 20 years or so,
Yeah.
it's more been about you don't know what's in their head. What does
Right.
safe mean to you?
Right.
What
Mm-hmm.
does quiet mean to you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
Yes.
grew up
Yeah.
on a farm.
Right.
That person
Right.
grew up next to a dance club.
Right.
Quiet
Right.
to
Right.
them and
Right.
quiet to you is different.
Right. Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. Yes.
but I can say, you understand the United States has a census, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the internet has a lot of smart people who took all the
Yes.
census information and put
Yes.
it out there.
Put it out there.
So that site that you found, I know of
Mhm.
several like
Yeah.
that, and you
Yeah.
can find them. And when it
Yeah.
comes to crime, you can
Yes.
just pull up the local sheriff station.
Exactly.
They've
Exactly.
got it.
Right. Right. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, here you are
Yeah.
overlooking your pond.
Yes.
It sounds lovely to me, except for geese. Geese terrify me.
These are calm. I
Okay,
have to
good.
admit, they have not chased me down.
I have to admit, you know, in the short time that we've been able to talk,
Yeah.
it's just so wonderful and refreshing. Someone who was more than ready,
Yeah.
yet, as you said, a smart person, done well in your life,
Yep.
multiple retirements,
Yep.
great credit score,
Yep.
but you still had to lean on the advice of so many people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because it's the first time through. And
Yes.
the biggest shocker to me of this whole thing is that you
Yeah.
have this pond in your backyard, and the thing you're most excited about is a frog.
Yeah. Right. 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 Well, the frog was new. There's a
Okay.
lovely family of geese. They've got 3 little geeslings, and they've been walking around and watching them get bigger. So there's a lot of wildlife out here that's really cool. I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Yeah.
I got to ask you, did you buy
Yeah.
it with that beautiful green accent wall behind you, or did you paint that?
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you this story because it goes back to some other advice you give. If
Yeah.
you are renting, don't try to close and move in the same time, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I closed and then I had my walls all painted and flooring redone because the carpet was all. This room was completely fuchsia. I cannot make that up. Maybe I'll send you the picture of the old
Yes,
room.
do.
And
Send me the
so,
before and after.
yes, yes. And so when I decided I wanted to buy it, I'm talking with Angela, I'm like, that room's got to go. She's like, you
No.
don't like purple? And so I was really fortunate. The painters were recommended and they came with a color consultant. And so I knew I wanted a beautiful focal wall. And because there's green in my kitchen, I thought we'll go with the green here. And I absolutely love the color. And then I was like, and then I thought maybe a cream around. She goes, you could, or and she recommended this off-white, which is much better. And I love this room. It's just so relaxing and peaceful and calming. And to give myself a place in my home that is just a haven. That
Wow.
doesn't double as the office, that doesn't double as the bedroom.
Yes.
It's just a gift. It's a gift.
Well, it's gorgeous. I've been admiring it the whole time, looking at the video. And I I'm laughing in my head because I'm like, well, what's a unicorn benefit? Well, you find the right people who know the right people, and then you can be a wonderful, humble person like yourself, but say bougie things to me like, I have a color designer.
Yes, right. Yes, I'm telling people the unicorn realtors are just a necessity. It made me calm. I had 200% confidence in Angela. And, when we saw a place and we were going to go look at another place, I said, I don't think we need to go anywhere else. I said, can you talk me out of this place? And she said, I wouldn't want to. I said, we're done. Full offer. Let's go.
I fully believe in trust but verify.
Yeah, yeah.
But once that trust is verified,
Yes.
I've had people where we have purchased the first home they bought.
Yeah, yeah.
And for some of them, we sign the contracts on the back of the car.
Right, yeah.
Because that's how long I've been doing this, before you could do it electronically.
Right.
But then for some of the people, I said,
Yeah.
hey, I've got the day.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and looked at the other 3 or 4 or 5.
Right.
But depending on how much research you've done on your own ahead of time.
Right.
I tell people all the time, we should, maybe not on our first day, but on our second weekend,
yeah,
we should walk in and at the threshold be able to go, this one's not it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Because the right realtor is going to make you feel like they're not trying to push you into anything to make a sale.
Exactly.
They're on the hunt with you.
Right. Never once did she make me feel that way. We'd seen one before this. It was $75,000 more. And when I said, I'm going to go with this one, she looked at this. She said, $75,000? Could you use $75,000? Not like, don't think, every other one's a little more expensive. You'll be okay. No, she's in my corner. And that's what a good realtor is. We had a discussion before we even got here that, whatever you need to change in a house, you can change it because you own it. It's like, right. And so to see that this was just paint, I was like, okay, so I'm painting that room. There was another room that had some awful color scheme going. I was like, that one's going. So actually, after we made the decision, we went and walked around again. I'm like, okay, painting there, painting here. This one's okay. This needs new carpet. What do I want to do in here? And she's like, well, you could do carpet or you could extend in a laminate flooring. I'm like, I like that. So she didn't, maybe she held my hand ahead of time, just prepared me. Like, don't feel like what you walk in, is what you have to have. Think about how it can become what you want.
And now this place is yours.
Right.
Last thing I'll ask you about then, how are you utilizing the deck? Have you even had a chance to yet, or is the weather started?
The weather, it was beautiful a day and a half ago and today, because it's freezing outside. But I'm looking forward to using the deck. I'm thinking about a grill, maybe, but probably going to put like a little bistro set out there and just enjoy my morning coffee.
I love it. Yes. Something to think about, everybody, is morning coffee.
Yes.
I was like, we have a 2-story home in Southern California, and there's a balcony off the master bedroom.
Right.
And I'm like, what is that? Best thing I ever did was get a little coffee machine, take it upstairs.
There you go.
Sit on my computer.
Yeah.
Answer homie questions with a cup of coffee while in the haze of the morning dawn.
Right.
The best.
Absolutely.
Regina, this has been beyond a pleasure.
Thank you. You.
I can't. Oh my God! I just looked at the time. Yes. There were so many wonderful nuggets in there, and I hope everybody gets an opportunity to listen to this. And probably the biggest lesson from this is, if this spurned curiosity, questions, queries, remember what Regina said. Start asking.
Start asking, man.
Until you get the answers that make sense to you.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Regina.
Thank you, Dave. And thank you for all that you do, truly.
I love it. Thanks. Every time I do one of these interviews, I get chills up and down and goosebumps and such great feelings in my heart. I'm so proud of what Regina did. And I hope that you heard lots of things in there that can help you on your home buying journey to understand everything from the emotions to the deep, detailed tactics that it's going to take to help you stop renting and finally become a homeowner. I know it could be confusing, so go ahead, scroll through the episodes, find titles that interest you on subjects that you feel like you need more information so you can really move forward with confidence and clarity. Any questions you have, just go to howtobuyahome.com. And hey, if these interviews and anything you're hearing on this podcast has been helpful to you, then please do us a favor, drop a review there. When we get more reviews, especially the written ones, it helps to spread the word, because the only thing that we're trying to do is get homeowners a leg up in what truly is an unfair market. So let's get at it. Let's find out what you need to do to move forward, because remember, you can do this.
Looking for more DIY education or your own personal step-by-step guidance through the home buying journey? Since 2019, How to Buy a Home has been the #1 resource for first-time home buyers. So visit howtobuyahome.com to get started.